Have I been talking on mute? I was like, I sound weird. What's that? It's because you're silent, Alex. Hi, guys. You were muted, you dingbat. Um, I was trying to log into my chat, and it seems like every password under the sun is not the password. So I'm just going to read it on OBS. Do you know what I mean? Which is fine because today we're not playing a game. We are talking. So I can read the stuff on here, and I've got so many plant babies to show. I brought everything into this room that I thought would be useful, so that I could like practically show you things. So you can see we have some assorted physical props. Hello, welcome in everybody. Okay, wait, I'm gonna scroll up and say some quick hellos. My goodness. Okay, I see some familiar faces. I decided to start a little bit earlier today, because I thought that that might be better for certain parts of the world. It's hard to I was so dazzled by finding out how many different countries everybody was watching from that I thought, oh, I should try and change time so that it's appropriate for more people. But it's obviously quite hard to find a perfect time for the whole world. Hello, hello, hello. Okay. Nova Blue, you're actually great. Yay. Oh, Zay, you want your room to be like this one day. I'm from the chat about the insects. Fabulous. We're going to talk about bugs. Yeah, I might start doing it's 3 a.m. for you, Mido. You're in Australia, aren't you? I might start doing some random ones on at like noon here, which I think will be better for like Southeast Asia and Australia. Um, I think, but I'm not good at this stuff off the top of my head. Um, nice. Well, thank you so much for coming and joining me to talk about plants. This is like honestly kind of a dream experience for me because it's just my the thing that I'm the most interested in. And uh so if you're interested in it as well, how delightful. And I want to say up top, um I am no expert at all. Uh, I just, I've always enjoyed plants and it's just become a hobby that I've gotten really, really into for the last 2 or 3 years. And I, yeah, I don't, part of the joy of it is that I'm starting as a complete ignoramus and I don't know anything and I just have to Google everything and I spend a lot of time on plant Reddit. And I just think in this, my sort of like pitch is that in this day and age of, short attention spans and constant screen time and notifications, rewiring our brains in all kinds of ways and feeling very overstimulated by the world, spending time with plants has been my happiest antidote to that. And so I thought, let's spread the joy. And also, I was extremely lucky to be cast as Poison Ivy in the new Lego Batman game. And so that felt too thematically perfect. And that game is out. And we had a wrap party for it last night. And it was very fun. And so, yes, I have not cosplayed as Poison Ivy, but her spirit will be with us always. And actually, Dr. Pamela Isley, we don't have to go full psycho Poison Ivy. We can also just be enthusiastic botany students like Pamela. Oh, look, I'm trying so hard. I can't hear any notifications, so that's bad, isn't it? I was trying really hard to be better at hearing notifications because in the past, I've missed people being super generous and I feel very rude for that. So I just spotted. Thank you, awesome Addy, for the sub. Amazing. You're a psychology major, but we have to have botany classes as part of your mind. I'm very envious of a liberal arts education where you get like majors and minors. In the UK system, you pick one subject and that's it. And that would be so cool. A psychology major with a botany minor. Incredible. Incredible. Fab. Okay, so I could just talk free range, but so that this doesn't become just a terrible ramble. I've tried to structure things somewhat, and I've structured them basically off of I asked questions on my Instagram stories if people had anything they wanted to talk about or any questions that they had, and I've selected some of those, especially ones that had, you know, multiple people were asking a similar kind of thing, and I thought that would be kind of how I would navigate through. I don't know how long we're going to do this for. Oh, thank you. Oh, and now I see the subscription. It just popped up now. God dang it. I get so confused by these things. Oh, somebody cheered. Why am I not hearing anything? I thought I was supposed to hear the sounds. Because I don't like that I can't hear anything. Yes, thank you for the gifted subs. You see, I see them on my screen, but I don't hear any alerts. Are you hearing any sounds when these go off? Is it just me that's not hearing them? You do, but super delayed. Hey, look, at least this stream, I'm not streaming 4 times accidentally to multiple places. I think I've solved one problem. So maybe I will solve. Oh my goodness, thank you for the gifted. I thank you for the cheer. Oh yeah, I forgot to set it up this time. I'm pointing you, I'm talking to you. I forgot to set it up this time. But I thought because you're being so thank you, Diva. Diva, sorry, I'm saying your name wrong. I thought, oh, thank you so much. Oh my God, you guys. I'm trying to understand what's going on. I spent so much time making specific sounds so that I'd know what was what. It's quite ironic that I'm hearing literally nothing. But I appreciate it so much. Thank you for the cheer. Alolin. That's a nice name. Yeah, I set up all of these sounds. In fact, I even made them be text to speech so that I would know what things were. To know with no success. Next time, I'll have figured it out. The Moon Chanter is on Twitch. I've brought the Everlasting Forest to my desk, and we're going to talk about it. You're hearing the text to speech. Oh my God. If you're hearing the text to speech, I need to explain. I'm such a boomer. I found out that there was text to speech, and then it was like, what language do you want it to be in? And that tickled me so much because I thought, well, I want it to be in every language. So then I just selected languages that amused me. So if you're hearing about suscripciones, or if you're hearing an Italian woman saying "e vai," and someone cheers. Thank you, Debar. That's why, is because it amused me so much. Yes, it's Italian, "e vai," because I was looking for something that was like "woohoo" in another language. I almost went for a French "hoopla," but I liked "e vai." Oh, hello. Wait, hello from Indonesia. That was another thing that I learned that I decided I wanted to do, was to be able to say hello to people. Should we see if I can do this? Hello from Indonesia. I can say, is it selamat petang? I don't know if it's evening for you. Is it evening for you? Selamat petang. Wow. You want to try a plant-based pasta, but you have a feeling you won't like it. Well, now hang on a minute. Pasta's largely plant-based to begin with. It's wheat. You mean with no egg? I feel like that would be okay. I mean, I'm sure I know the Italians like to do things one way and stick to it, but I think probably vegan pasta is pretty good. Are there vegans in the chat? Can you attest? Is vegan pasta good? There's always rice noodles.
E vai.
You can use dandelion stems for noodles. Zay, dandelion stems? What are we, wabbits?
E vai.
Thank you, Colin Bennell. Thank you. Thank you, Seven Marsh. Wow. You guys, this is so nice. Oh, yes, you're reminding me. The next time I do one of these plant streams, I'm going to start a fundraiser thing because I don't need you to be generous to me. I appreciate it hugely. But I would rather that you were generous to Mother Nature. And so I thought I would set up a little, don't hit the mic, Al. I thought I would set up a little charity thing for something like Rainforest Alliance or Friends of the Earth, so that if you feel so kindly like you want to cheer, you can donate a little something to them, and we'll see if we can raise some money to save some trees. But have I organised it for this? No. Because did I plan on doing this far in advance? Not at all. Not at all. It was a spontaneous plan. Vegan pasta would not include the eggs or butter or cheese. Yeah. But really, it's the pasta itself. It's just the eggs, isn't it? It's just eggs and wheat-based flour. You'd love to hop in for donos. Yes, I made my donation text French because when I was studying French, I really liked the fact that a donation is called un don, like a don. Un grand don. Un don énorme. It pleases me. Sweet. All right. Well, shall we get started? Do I play? Wait, she gets distracted as soon as she says get started. Do I play the guitar? No, I'll tell you what the stories of all of my guitars are behind me, because as you can see, there are many. And they're not mine. They were variously both of my parents. But my parents are unfortunately no longer with us, and I inherited the guitars. And so I keep them. Well, actually, we've got one banjo, one 12-string guitar, and then two regular guitars. And so I keep them. I can do embarrassing, I can play D, E, F, G. I can do like terrible rhythm guitar, but I can't play anything good. But I keep them because musical instruments are lovely and they were my parents, and so I have them. But it makes me look like I'm some kind of musician that I'm absolutely not. Am I fluent in French? Non, pas du tout. I have been studying French. Many people in my family are fluent in French. My grandfathers were both French, and so I never learned it because I was like, humph, I'll never be as good at French as everybody else. So I learned Spanish instead. And then as an adult, I've been like, okay, you know what? That was a silly protest. I should go off and learn French. So I've been doing kind of adult French classes at the French Institute in London, which is quite lovely. J'adore. I've been speaking Spanish so much recently. That's the problem, is my head goes a mix. But what could I say? Bienvenue. Merci pour... Comment allez-vous? Je vais très bien. Merci. I'm suddenly embarrassed and self-conscious. Your pending languages that you're learning are Korean, 안녕하세요, Swedish, hey, and French, salut. My problem with languages is that I am too interested in too many, and so I just flit all over the place like a confused bumblebee. And I don't actually hang around long enough to get a proper mastery that I ought to have. So that was part of what the going to the French Institute was about. But then I got this part in a video game where I'm speaking Spanish a little bit. And so I was like, chucked that out the window and went back to Spanish. And it's erased my French from my brain. Debar, I'm with you. It's scary to speak, even when you've studied something and you know you're quite good at it in a classroom. As soon as you get into the real world, it's like, it's just like everything falls out of your ears. It's really difficult. Um, yeah, I studied a bit of Italian when I was at university, and that erased both the Spanish and the French. It basically means that when I'm listening to any of those languages, I can understand quite well. But when I go to speak, I forget the most basic things, like the verbs to have and to be. I get muddled of which is which, and um, you with Japanese, it's impressive learning Japanese, though. I think especially, if you're coming from Dutch, aren't you, Zay? Like that's a huge difference. Are there any Lithuanian or Latvian words that you have learned? Wait, did I do it? Was I good? Was I good? Which are you, Lithuanian or Latvian? Laumauma. You're Lithuanian. In that case, I will say sveiki. Is that correct? And keiplekesi? Keiplekesa? Sveiki. I was interested that the Lithuanian and Latvian were so similar, but there's slightly different pronunciation. Sveikia and not sveiki. Sveikia. How is that? Does that pass to a Lithuanian? No, the only Lithuanian that I learned was when I was doing. I think I said on a previous stream that I played an RPG with some friends where I was a Lithuanian character, and she was a pagan priestess, and so I got really into learning about Lithuanian paganism, and so I learned about Bangputish, who I think is the thunder god, and and I had a familiar who was a grass snake called Jaltis. Do I know any Dutch? Oh, okay. I went to Amsterdam in January for my birthday, and I tried learning Dutch, and it was in my head at the time, and now it's gone right out. I think the thing that I remember the most is that I enjoyed the word for sandwich was bokerham. Bokerham. Lekker. You know what? It's the pronunciation, because I'm always surprised by how American Dutch sounds to me. My brain wants to go to German when I see the words, but then they're pronounced in Boterham, not Bokerham. Boterham. Because it's butter and ham. Boterham. Lekker. Oh God, what was the basic Dutch? I haven't got there. Hoe gaat het? Hoi, hoe gaat het? Bedankt. A lot of, yeah, you see, look at that. How am I supposed to know that that's hoe gaat het? Hoe gaat het? Hoe gaat het? Hoe gaat het? Bedankt. Yeah, but for German, yeah. Hey, wie geht's? It is funny because hoe is like, how? But it's also, ik ben een appel. Exactly. I was there with my Duolingo Dutch, for sure. And it was trying to tell me how to say, my penguin is unstable. And I'm like, that's not helpful, Duo. I need to know how to say, are there restaurants around here? But luckily, obviously, the Dutch speak English very well. So I didn't have to do my terrible Heel gaat het, bedankt. All right. Should we get started? Should we talk about plants? Let's go. Okay. Nice. Hype train. Why am I not seeing anything? I've really my my ambitions to get really streamlined on this have gone right out the window. I missed that train. That train came and left the station, but I love you all, so thanks so much. All right. We will get started, and let's leave my language tab. Okay. The first question. Be careful, the thrips are listening to. Oh my God. Mido, we're going to get to the thrips. Oh, thank you for the follow, Trillionaire. I've just seen it. Have I just seen it? Was it 800 years ago? What is happening? Jesus Christ. You know what? Just consider me grateful, generally. I apologize for being such a crashing noob. The first question that I'm going to answer was from Winter, who I have chatted to on Instagram. So I'm not sure if you're here, Winter, actually. You often are. You are! Hello, my love. I'm just talking about you. Your question is what I'm starting with. Because Winter asked me, what is a rare or unique plant that you currently have, and is it hard to take care of? And the reason why I am starting with that question is because I feel like that sets us up for how I want to approach all of this. The answer is nothing rare, nothing difficult. My attitude towards plants has been, I'm a beginner, so I am going to go easy. I always search for plants based on like what is idiot proof and what survives a lot of neglect. And I really recommend that as a way into developing green fingers, because it's so easy to get demoralized if you get something that looks really amazing, but you've not really looked up. You know, you see it in a store and it looks so gorgeous and it's being cared for perfectly. And so then you take it home and it dies in a week. And it's so depressing, and it makes you, I feel like it kind of cuts your hobby off at the knees. So I think if you want to develop green fingers, you need to get confident. And you get confident by spending a lot of time working with plants and seeing how they grow. And if you want that to happen, choose easy plants. There are so many incredibly idiot-proof plants out there, and they're all my favorites. Also, I have like hundreds of plants that I've collected, and so I need them to be easy. Like they don't need frequent watering. We're talking, you know, once every 2 weeks I water most of my plants. So that is absolutely my methodology. You can see I've got this fairly happy looking fiddle leaf fig. This is one that, although they're very popular, they are notoriously finicky, and some people just have no luck with them at all. I have been lucky, but I feel like a fiddle leaf fig is basically a kind of magical plant. It has a will of its own. If it likes you and it likes where you've put it, it will prosper. And if it doesn't like where you've put it, it will die no matter what you do. So I've gotten lucky with this fiddle leaf. This is probably the hardest plant that I have, but he's, touch wood, it can hear me, and it's spiteful. But everything else I've got is absolutely moron proof, and that is how I like to approach plants, and that's why I've got so many, and that's why they are a joy. Yeah, they just die up. You can get rejected by plants, absolutely same. They've got a real attitude. I'll tell you what, one type of plant, and here's, I hope this will work. I wanted to be able to show you. If I do, oh gosh, how alarming. It's my own face. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so I'm hoping that you guys can see these. Here's an example for you of a plant that I bought a bunch of these when I was first starting out because they're so beautiful. This is a family of plants called Calathea or prayer plants. And you see how gorgeous and variegated the leaves are. Variegated means the leaves are kind of stripy. You know, they have like dark areas and light areas, and they have all of these gorgeous patterns. They are stunning. You want to buy them immediately. They are the most finicky, difficult, annoying, irritating, will die on you no matter what you do. Like some people have luck with them and clearly they're blessed by the gods. Um, but I would say, for example, stay away from this kind of thing and go for the super easy ones. And I've got, if anybody wants, I can give you a rundown of some super easy ones. But I would say the main thing to look for when you're choosing an easy plant is what are the conditions that that plant grows in naturally? What are its indigenous natural conditions? And if you live in a place where you can replicate those conditions, the plant's going to thrive. So a lot of the problems that people have in the UK, for example, or in just Northern Europe in general, is that our homes are so dark that a lot of plants, just houseplants, really struggle because they're not getting anywhere near enough light. And so then the thing you want to look for is not just, is it easy, but what's a plant that can handle low light? What's a plant that you can basically keep in the dark forever and it'll be fine? So I have orchids are a great example of that. Orchids are very happy in the dark. The ZZ plant, wait, let me go back to my full camera. If you can see behind the chat here, that's a ZZ plant. I might get up and show you. We love a ZZ plant. And the reason we love a ZZ plant is because they are so easy. Oh, by the way, this is one of my stupid tricks that I do to increase my joy. I've stuck a fake flower in it. Because, you know, oh, she capsized. We're going to right that ship. She's like, I don't want to be on the couch. What are you doing? I had a home. No, she's fine. I wanted to show you the ZZ plant up close, though, because we love it. God dang it. This is a way more civilized way of doing it. We're just going to pretend the last 2 minutes didn't happen. Do you know what I mean? The ZZ plant is native to Africa, I believe. It is very green and tropical looking, but it likes super arid conditions and it can handle the dark, which basically means you can stick it in a corner that doesn't have much light and ignore it for weeks while it dries out and it will be absolutely fine. No, don't clip it. Don't clip it. I don't want everyone to know that I'm out here throwing plants around. ZZ plants are invincible, exactly. And I stuck a big fake flower in it because why not? You know what I mean? It's not a plant that flowers, or if it is, not in these conditions. But I thought, I'm just going to pretend that it does, and it makes my room look more tropical and fun when I'm not throwing it around. So there you go. This is my ZZ. Highly recommended. Easy plant for a dark room. I'm not going to throw it. Tell you what. Native to Zanzibar. Thank you, Riztastic. Oh, thank you for the follow. I see one. I see them now, finally. Thank you very much. Oh, I missed a couple. Can she do flips? Oh, I tell you what, one thing about a ZZ plant though is that the sap is quite poisonous. So sometimes with these easy plants, you can make the mistake of thinking that they're, when I say idiot proof, I mean idiot proof to keep alive, but don't eat it unless you live quite close to a hospital. No? No? Yes, it's sap. If you cut it, it has quite a milky sap, which irritates your skin and I think is not great to ingest. Probably also not good for pets. There are lots that are not good for pets, unfortunately, but I don't have any, so I don't have to worry about that. Hi, Jane. How you doing? Thank you for stopping by. You just missed me throwing some plants on the ground. I've just knocked over a giant plant on my couch. It's going to be great. I'm going to clean that up later. Okay. So the next question was, actually, I'm going to finish that topic how poisonous are we talking? I actually don't know how poisonous we're talking. I just registered it as do not do that. So don't eat plant saps in general. There are some that are really. I've got a couple outside. I have a plant called a spurge. I wonder if I've got pictures of my spurge. Such a funny name. Which really will put you in A&E, which is our version of the ER, if if you get it in your eyes or mouth. But just generally, try not to eat plant sap. That's the advice. My other hero for low light, dark rooms that you can leave forever, neglect, and barely ever water. I'm going to get, and I'm going to try not to throw it on the couch. Much more civilized. This is a snake plant. Aren't they beautiful? You get all different kinds of snake plants. They are fully idiot proof. And they like to be in very dry soil. They come from, I don't know. But I bet Africa's not a bad shout in terms of how arid an environment they like. But yes, they are happy in the dark and they like very little water, and therefore they are amazing houseplants. And they're really easy to propagate, which I will show you maybe later. You should see the gimpy plant from Australia. Well, now I've got to Google that. Do you know what I mean? The gimpy... Wait, how am I spelling this? I feel like that's important. The gimpy... Should I maybe not do this publicly? Do you know what I mean? Maybe I'm going to Google it. I'm going to Google it and then I'm going to switch over just in case you're pulling my leg. I can't see anything. Oh, okay. You weren't pulling my leg. It's safe. Don't worry, guys. Jane, I'm glad that you mentioned that they're also... So yes, snake plants, like my friend here, also have a really misogynistic common name, which is mother-in-law's tongue. And the reason is because they're kind of tongue-like shapes and they're very sharp. And I'm like, enough with these. Let's be nice to our mothers-in-laws. Enough with these sexist stereotypes. Sharp-tongued women. Yeah. So I just call them snake plants because I love snakes. So win-win. West Africa and Central Africa for the snake plant. Makes sense. So there you go. It turns out, I'm surprised that they don't need tons of light, but A lot of plants that where their habitat is like under trees, under large trees, where the trees are taking up all of the sunlight. The ones that kind of live on the forest floor are the ones that do well as houseplants because they're fine in the dark. Um, yeah, the one who named it was traumatized by their mother-in-law. They were like, "Ow, this plant cut me." But also, this plant's a dream. She's very easy. She purifies the air. She's easy to take care of. She's beautiful. Maybe she's a mother-in-law for that reason. Perhaps. Um, okay, I'm gonna put this back. This is me looking up this gimpy gimpy plant, and it says the stinging tree, the stinging bush, is a plant in the nettle family found in the rainforest areas of Malaysia and Australia. It is notorious for its extremely painful and long-lasting sting. You see, this is why I'm frightened of Australia, because living in England makes you soft because everything here is harmless. And in other parts of the world, there are all of these incredible plants that will mess you up. Wow. Okay. No gimpy gimpy. And it looks so benign, don't you think? Like, look at this. It does not look particularly threatening, but everything wants to kill you in Australia. Yeah. Have you ever come across poison ivy? What a perfect question, Jane. No. But you guys have it in the States, right? Because we don't have poison ivy here. I don't think. And I don't think I've spent time on the West Coast in a lot of like desert areas with my dad's side of the family, and then in New England, I don't think I've encountered poison ivy. You're in Maryland, Debar? No poison ivy for you. Yeah. Are all your plants for women? uh, I think I probably call them. I'm often calling my plants little guys, so they might all be male. But I am poison ivy. Well, certainly. I don't need to grow it when I am it. Um, you are piss and ivy. It's okay. I knew what you meant. You are piss and ivy. All right. Next question. The next question was from Ikarigozens, who has been very nice to me. I think she made me some TikTok things, and I was like, what is TikTok? I'm just, I don't know. I don't know. I'm too old for this world. That's you. You're Ikarigozens. Hi, Nova Blue. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the very cute TikToks that you made. And you asked, what is your favorite recipe from your garden? And I like that question because first group of plants that I learned about were houseplants. And then I started to grow plants outdoors, but my focus was just on evergreen things that would make the view out of my window look nice. I had not grown any food. And then this is my second year growing food. I don't know no, I don't know TikTok. I think I'm the wrong generation for TikTok. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know it exists. I see, but it's definitely not like my main hub of social media at all. I started learning about food plants last summer. So this is coming up to my second year. And I had wait, I think I'm telling a lie. I think this is maybe my third year. I'm like, you know what? It's my third year. It's my third year. And so I thought I would show you. Let's see if I can do it how I meant to do it. Like this. So these are a bunch of photos. Just I did a gigantic dump of all of the photos that I could find on my phone that might be relevant. A favorite recipe from the garden. Because my dad was from California. Mexican food was like the home food that I grew up on. And so I kind of have quite a Mexican focused garden. All of these beautiful flowers that you can see are wait, I've got the right thing on, right? You can see this? No, there you go. Famously, we can't see anything, Alex. This is what I meant to show you. Apologies. All of these flowers, Alex, all of these flowers that you can see are dahlias, which are native to Mexico. And then I also grew tomatoes. Here's some of my tomatoes and jalapenos. And my jalapeno plants were going like crazy. In fact, I think the thumbnail today was my jalapenos. Growing like crazy. I'm very lucky because I'm up on the top of a building here. So even though I'm in gloomy London, I get all of the sunlight that is available to us. It's very bright even when it's overcast. So here are my jalapenos going gangbusters and stuff that I have made with them. Look, you see? Aren't they beautiful? Because jalapenos, when they ripen, they go from green to red. So I let some of them like halfway ripen so I could get these beautiful color changing ones. And I grew a phenomenal quantity of tomatoes, all of which is to say I make pico de gallo. It's probably my favorite thing to make because it's just all straight stuff from the garden. I've not grown onions yet, so that's the next. I've grown spring onions, but I need to grow like proper yellow onions or white onions. And then I can make the full pico because I grow coriander as well. So the cilantro, the tomato, the jalapeno is all coming from the garden. Here's some stuffed jalapenos I make with the garden. The garden chilies. I've lost the chat, so I just want to check that I'm not ignoring you terribly. I'll go back to the chat. Yeah. You know, the thing about pico de gallo is it's an appropriate thing to eat anytime, even at 4 a.m. You know, it's great for breakfast. It's great for a midnight snack. It's great for lunch. It's great for dinner. And actually, these guys here were when I had Jane and Amanda over, and that's Jane Jackson, the voice of Oressa in Genshin Impact and the voice of Female Rover in Wuthering Waves, and Amanda, who is currently streaming Wuthering Waves right now, I think, the Edgerunners collab. So if you want to leave me and watch that, fair enough. I had Amanda and Jane over, and we made these little tarts with tomatoes that I'd grown from the garden. That was nice. What is this? Action shot. And there are artichokes there, and I would quite like to grow artichokes because those plants look incredible. They're very dramatic, and I'll show you an artichoke growing. Artichokes are so delicious, and the plants are so formidable. Look at them. They're like a thistle. And the unusual thing about an artichoke is that the vegetable that you eat is actually the flower before it's bloomed. It's the bud of the flower, which is a very unusual situation. You know, normally we have the flowers and then it turns into a berry or turns into a tomato. The flowers come first. And this is the bud. That is what we eat. Oh, I clicked on the wrong thing. Okay. close that. You're also watching. Yes, okay. Zay is multitasking. That's great. Thank you. I appreciate you. Onions might be the easiest to grow. Yeah, I should give it a go. I haven't really grown any root vegetables because it felt less fun not being able to see the action up top. It's all hidden beneath the earth. Jane, we were very particular about decorating those tarts, but appropriately so, right? Like they looked gorgeous. So I think it was justified. Oh, this was this is just show and tell at this point. This is a caprese that I made with basil that I grew and tomatoes that I grew. It's not bad. What are you commenting on, Mido? Pro lights. Oh, is that my mouse? Yes, I bought a new mouse. I had to go hunting high and low for a ambidextrous mouse because I'm left-handed, and the gaming world is really not inclusive to left-handed people. And I found this like one mouse that was like clean and simple and would let me wasn't bent one way or the other and would let me be left-handed with it. So yeah. Wait, Janie, you're lefty? How did I not know that? Winter, you're left-handed. Okay, I really need to have a whole conversation with the lefties because I need to know, what are your keybinds? How are you playing these games? What's the deal? Because I'm trying to figure it out, but I've like come up with my own system. But because I'm kind of new to gaming on a PC, I'm new to any games that are not kind of mouse based. I'm new to the sort of rapid keybind stuff, and that's quite tricky if you're a left-handed person. Jane, we maybe have talked about it, and I'm just being a forgetful moron. Ambidextrous, yes, quite. All right, shall we move to the next question? The next question is, what is the next question? Oh, okay, fun. Oh God, Alex, stop breaking things. The next question was from 442. I want to say it's Jimenez. It's abbreviated, but it feels Latin. I'm going Jimenez. Do you have experience with bonsai trees? And would you recommend one for an office? So this was part of why I was running around gathering plants, because the answer to that is an emphatic yes. Bonsai trees are amazing. Now I feel like I should have done the most basic Google to double check that this is right, because I feel like I might just be making stuff up. Bonsai trees are essentially, as far as I remember, easy care species that grow slowly. So the idea is that it starts small, you prune it to a perfect shape, and it kind of stays small and perfect, has a small root system. But if you let a bonsai tree grow and grow and grow, they will often grow quite large. And so I've brought some examples to talk about bonsai trees because I love them. And they're so easy. I think most of my bonsai trees, if not all of them, come from IKEA. And have lived a very long time. I want to find a way to get the chat up here a bit more reliably, because I previously had the chat open on my phone, but it wouldn't let me log in. And so now I feel like I'm going to lose you. But I shall collect some bonsais. We're not throwing any more plants. We've learned that lesson. You're eating chips and salsa right now? Oh my God. That's what I need. I need some chips and some salsa. I've seen my pico and I'm like, God dang it. But my tomatoes, we've had a very cold May, like a weirdly it went back to winter temperatures. So all of my food plants outside have like frozen in time. They're waiting for the hot weather. Wait, people are surprised that IKEA sells bonsais. I mean, I imagine it's different in countries all over the world. Archaic, what country are you in? Because in the UK, heaps. IKEA sells all sorts. I mean, it feels very IKEA coded because they're so compact. Like it's the flat pack version of a plant. The first one I wanted to show you is this. It's not in the best condition, but you know what? I just grabbed it from the next room. You're in the UAE, but like some chatters here, you're Filipino. Oh, I see. Oh, wait. Do I have my Filipino greeting? I tried so much. I wanted to learn how to say things. This is seamless, you guys. I just knew this off the top of my head. Oh, kumusta? Kumusta ka? Okay, well, kumusta? And you know what? I'm not sure what species this bonsai is. I think it might be, this is coming off the back of my memory, a Chinese elm of some kind. But it's growing in a ball of moss, which I think is a Japanese practice called kokodama, but I could be wrong. And also, this moss is in pretty dire condition. It's quite hard to keep moss fresh and green. So we're just keeping the plant alive at this point. But, bonsais are super easy. You trim them whenever you need to. They usually handle drought pretty well. This one's quite high maintenance because the moss ball needs to be kept moist. Magandang araw. Okay, nice. You see, I'm trying to learn. Wait, araw, is that right? Araw? I need to use a larger font in this notes that I made. If I'm going to thank you, am I saying terima kasih? Okay. Yeah, this one's high maintenance. I choked. I'm now going to show you the other end of the spectrum. Oh, thank you so much. I'm not great. My pronunciation is copying Google Translate. You know what I mean? This is a Ficus benjamina, sometimes known as a weeping fig. And this started out as a bonsai from IKEA. As you can see now, she's quite large. Yeah. When it started out, I'm not sure how big it was. But it was maybe this big. It has at least doubled or maybe tripled in size. Oh, thank you, Enter Flowcraft. I'm currently joking. Are you all right? Drink some water. I got really excited about bonsais. That's what happened. But yeah, I have never trimmed that because I've never wanted it to be smaller. And so I've just kept it growing forever. And then this is a kind of middle of the road bonsai, which I've already got right here. This is your classic one that would be very good in an office. This is also a ficus because look at his chunky, I was going to say trunk. Is that trunk? Stem? They look like squidgy thighs. I love them so much. And it's got this lovely, naturally pretty round shape. I've trimmed this maybe a year ago. Um, but it requires very little water, very little care. Um, they just hang out. So they're actually ideal for houseplants. They're ideal for offices because everybody can forget about them and they do super well and they look really cute. Mother Nature, she's choking. Good point. Thank you, Jane. That will actually make me drink water. How long did it take for them to get that big? Do you mean wait, what do you mean? Do you mean this trunk or do you mean the ficus that has tripled in size? I'm just so chunky. They're just so chunky. Oh my God. And then this stream is just going to be me having just chucking my plants about. Both. Okay, so this one, the stem was already chunky. And then I went to where have I been where I've seen giant ficus? If you see big old ficus trees and they grow big, like huge, but they still have those chunky trunks. I've seen them in Hawaii, and I think I saw them in Vietnam also. And they're amazing because you can like climb over those giant like undulating stems and trunks and roots, and it's unbelievable. Yeah, they can just chill and exist with a cup of water. They are so low maintenance. Yeah, Jane was quoting the game. Mother Nature. What is it? She's choking, Mr. Wayne. You poisoned her skies. Our beloved Robinson Park is under threat. I think poison ivy and llama have some similarities too. They are both for the everlasting forest. You know what? Wait, I don't know how to say your surname. I don't know which part to stop it at. Sutifani desu. Sutifani desu. The full body workout is no joke. Actually, when I'm doing all of my plant care, because of lifting them all, as you could see, because that plant that I dropped was so gigantically heavy. But especially because I keep everything in quite, concrete, heavy pots. I have to remind myself to lift like I'm in the gym, so that I don't exhaust myself. And doing gardening work outside is really tiring work, but it's very rewarding and very satisfying. Oh, thank you for the cheer. Is that what I say? Do I call it a cheer? I don't know. I'm new here. You thought poison ivy was a villain. A very appropriate question. When she was first invented, she was definitely supposed to be a villain, and that's been the way the way that she was presented in the in Batman and Robin, the Uma Thurman movie, which is so incredible. But she's also like in this world where the environment is like under such threat, and all of our lives depend on it. She's basically not wrong about a lot of things. The homicidal extent she takes it to, we don't endorse. But Mother Nature is suffering at the hands of mammals. And sometimes those mammals should be kept in check, don't you think? All right. Stay hydrated, Mother Nature. Good point. I need to watch more of the series with I've not seen Poison. Well, I haven't played the Arkham game, so I haven't seen Poison Ivy apart from in clips. I've not encountered her characterization in that. And I haven't seen the series where Lake Bell voices her, although I love Lake Bell's voice. So I would definitely like to do that. Forest, protect us. And for the everlasting forest. Exactly. That was the inspiration behind all of this. Okay, so next question. Let me see what it was. Okay. You can ask an off-topic question, Moonlight Galaxy. I don't know anything about anime. Anime is something that has completely skipped me by. I mean, I saw, I've seen Studio Ghibli movies and enjoyed those. But when I started working in gacha games and I realized that there's so much overlap between anime and the gacha world, and uh, it made me realize, I was like, God, this is a whole gigantic genre that I know nothing at all about. I did recently. I don't even know technically what counts as anime. I have been watching. Cyberpunk Edge Runners because of the Wuthering Waves collaboration. And I haven't quite finished it yet, so I've been trying to avoid spoilers. I've got like 2 episodes left. But I absolutely love it. I think it's incredible. And the art style is just phenomenal. So yeah, if that counts as an anime, I've been absolutely loving Edge Runners. And I don't really play Wuthering Waves anymore because I just don't like have the time and space in my brain. But I am quite tempted to go back just to play the Edge Runners collab because it's so my cup of tea, the style of everything. So maybe I will.
E vai.
Zay, can I rate your plants? Oh, thank you for the cheer. Bonsai. Bonsai for the bonsai. Bonsai. Zay, I can rate your plants. You send them in the mod channel. Well, that would require me to have Discord open, wouldn't it? And that's what I would do if I knew what I was doing. Let's see what happens if I open it. I'm sorry that I'm so useless, Zay. Thank you for being helpful. Oh, okay. Well, Zay, shall I show everybody what you have here? Shall we talk through it? No, that's not what I was trying to click on. There we go. Oh, look, I've done it. Successfully done it. Huzzah! Miss Elf on the Shelf. Thank you. I like that. Like an elf on the shelf. Okay, so let's have a look at what you've got here, Zay. I'm gonna what do? I go back to Discord to see. Okay, so you've got a spider plant, bottom left here. Very nice, very happy. One thing that I know about spider plants is you see, wait, let me ask you guys, can you guys see my cursor? If I'm like indicating a part of the image, can you see that? Okay, amazing. So you see on the left here, this like small area of what looks like plant dangling off the main plant. Those are called pups, and they're basically the babies of the spider plant. So when a spider plant is happy, it will send off. So its leaves are kind of like quite soft and pliable, and triangular in shape, and then it will send off a like thicker stem, and then at the bottom of that thicker stem, it will have a tiny little, kind of looks like a little firework of a mini plant starting. That is its own plant. So yes, say you're a mother, and if you want to, there's a bunch of different ways that you can propagate those into other spider plants. You can either do it the hardcore way, which is you cut off that stem and you put the pup on soil. You see if it roots. You're kind of like, good luck to you, mate. Um, the other thing you can do, which is a bit more finicky, is if you get a little pot with soil and you sit the pup in that, but you leave it attached to the mother plant, basically like an umbilical cord, so that it's still feeding from the mother while it finds its roots. That's the surest way for it to get established. And then once it's established, you cut off that umbilical cord stem, and it's its own separate plant. But whether you want to propagate or not, I actually recommend cutting those pups off because they kind of drain the energy of the mother plant and can stress them out. Now, your spider plant looks very happy here, But if she was getting stressed out, if she was getting too dry too quickly, cutting off the pups will take all of that stress off of the main plant. So I apologize that the pups will not make you breakfast. They'll do nothing for you except fill your house with more lusciousness. What else can I see in here? Do I see a calathea? Oh no, it's one of those elephant ear ones. What are those called? Alocasia, maybe? I've not got any of those. Very cool. We like those. And then you've got a fern. Now, ferns are plants that I just think are so incredibly beautiful, and I adore them, and they hate me and they die. They generally require high humidity and frequent watering. And because I'm quite lazy with my watering and do it very infrequently, the ferns are like, nah, we're not living here. This is terrible. I have some ferns outside, and that's fine because in England it rains all the time, and so the ferns are doing well outside. And I will continue to get more and more ferns outside because they are gorgeous. And they're also like prehistoric plants. And I have a special soft spot for anything super ancient. Anything that was around, you know, at the same time as dinosaurs is intensely cool in my books. So I love ferns. All right. What else? Did you send me another picture? Let me go back to this to see. Oh, well, that's a banana. Isn't that a banana? Sometimes I get confused between a bird of paradise and a banana because they have very similar shaped leaves. But I believe a banana has like a central trunk, whereas the bird of paradise is like individual thinner stems. Um, Wait, what is that in the pot? Oh, you have a little wizard frog. Oh, well, I'm glad that it's being watched over. You know what I mean? Thank goodness. I mean, Zay, that looks great. How long have you had the banana plant for? A week. Okay. So maybe it's fantastical good health. It's not yet you're doing, but you haven't killed it in a week. So good for you. I hope may it live many, many weeks longer. I'm going to look at your last picture that you sent. I don't want to like give too much information about your home. I'm just double checking it. Um, I think this is okay. Don't think there's anything terrible to show on here. Okay, so here we have a monstera, this very popular plant, and you can see same girl, same girl, same. Also known as the Swiss cheese plant because it has holes in it. These are super popular. I find them a bit of a pain in the ass, to be honest with you. Your jalapeno plant now has 11 fruiting bodies. Blessed be the fruiting bodies. Congratulations, Hat and Sandals Guy. And I said this last time, but Hat and Sandals Guy is the most gardening core username you could have. And I really love that. Oh, your mom in India would use the banana trees like a sled during rain season? That's amazing. Yeah, banana leaves are so cool. They're just gigantic and super strong. Yes, the old monstera looks quite happy. They usually want loads of light, monsteras, which is why mine is currently ascending to space in the window. But yours looks very happy and healthy. And then underneath, is this a coconut palm? It looks like a coconut at the bottom. Very cool. I've almost picked those up from IKEA a bunch of time. Do not mistakenly grow cucumbers unless you know how to give them away at unsuspecting street carts. What on earth do you mean, sir? Is it because are they growing prolifically for you? Seven Marsh, did I say a bad word? I've been trying so hard not to be sweary. The English are a very sweary species. I've been focusing quite hard on not cursing. Sorry. Okay, sweet. Great plants, eh? I think you're doing fab. And also that aquarium looks cool. Somebody asked me about aquarium plants, and I'm not going to answer that question because I haven't the foggiest. I have absolutely no idea. Maybe I'll Google and we can talk about it in the future once I've done a bit of research. Yeah, the Dutch are amazing at swearing. Oh, was that you, Zay, who asked about the aquarium plants? Yeah, I'm sorry. I got zilch. I know nothing. I know I've got some plants that are quite happy to live with their roots in water, but with the whole plant fully submerged, I don't know anything. Literally how I'm on the channel, family friendly content. Yeah, yeah, I was trying to be PG. Well, because I tell you why I'm trying to be PG is because I don't really understand how streaming works. And so I think there's probably settings that you're supposed to do if you're going to be a sweary person. And I don't know what those are and I don't want to get in trouble. Cucumbers are unholy prolific. Okay, I've got to try. I love cucumbers. I've got to try growing cucumbers. I have been growing. Where's my caprese? Wait, can you see? Yeah, you guys can see what I'm doing. My newest thing, I meant to order this by date. That would be great. Can I order it by anything? No? I'm growing cucamelons, which are a type of cucumber. Are these my cucamelons? Oh, they're teeny tiny. Yeah, these are cucamelons. They are sometimes called a mouse melon because they basically look like a watermelon, but like teeny tiny mouse sized. Oh, wait, you guys are giving me swearing tips. I'm going to read that for one sec. You have pothos in your aquarium. Okay, we're going to talk about pothos in a bit. That's good to know. There's a button that lets you rate your stream as 18 plus for adults. Okay, maybe I will do that. Yes, I'll try very hard not to offend entire populations of people. I can't say that I won't do it by mistake, but I will certainly try not to. But yes, I have never grown cucumbers, but this is my first attempt. This is from like a couple days ago, this photo. So I'm planting these. They are babies at the moment, but they grow apparently, like you say, prolifically. And then you get these teeny tiny cucumbers that are kind of round and kind of look like watermelons. And they have a citrusy taste, which I thought would be really good with all of the Mexican food that I like to cook. Hi from Croatia. Oh, wait. I don't think I have any Croatian hellos. How do I say hello in Croatian? Thank you for the follow. Yeah, I want to know hi in Croatian. I feel like Croatian is probably quite a challenging language in terms of how its orthography, how it is written. Quite challenging, I should think. Oh, thank you for the follow. Oh, hello, new peoples. Very nice. You have a cherry tree and it's too tall to reach the fruit. That is a tragedy. I love cherries. They're up there with my favorite fruits for sure. Cherry flavored everything is my favorite thing. You're from Chile. Okay, well, I can say, what is it? Buenos tardes for you now? What time? No. Buenos dias. It's earlier for you, no? Right? What time is it in Chile? ¿Es la mañana? Claro que sí. You say bok or zdravo, but no one uses the last one. But zdravo is so much more fun. Okay, bok. Zdravo. Zdravo. It's so nice. I love any kind of zdra. It's so great. You've got to head off. Thank you so much for coming, Jane. Appreciate you dropping by, my dude. And everybody, if you've enjoyed I know she's already getting it from everywhere, but the Edge Runners collab on Wuthering Waves that's just come out. I'm so excited to see Jane's magnificent work in it, because I'm so proud that she's Rover. She's so cool. It's afternoon for you in Chile. Buenas tardes. Buenas tardes. Well, bienvenida. All right, next question. Drink some water, and then we do the next question. Yeah, we need to do Stardew together. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we need to do Stardew together. I bought maybe I bought a gigantic it feels like a bale, like a giant pack of straw, because I want to put what's called mulch down. It's basically mulch is kind of anything that you cover the surface of the substrate, the earth with. And so I want to put mulch down to protect my strawberries. And as soon as I ordered this big bale of hay and it showed up, I felt like I was a farmer in Stardew. I was like, it's begun. I'm a real farmer. I will not be streaming the Cyberpunk collab. I don't think streaming stories in general is going to be my thing because I'm not sure I want to be observed. They're so long and they're such a commitment, and I think I'd rather like come on and engage with you guys, and chat about stuff and do fun little things rather than do the full story. And also, like I said, I've not really been playing WoW, but Amanda, if she's still doing it, which I don't know, she started at 5, but Amanda Rochelle is streaming it right now, if that interests you. Winter, you love my Spanish. Thank you so much. That means so much to me because I love speaking Spanish, but I have got no idea if it sounds terrible. So that's really lovely to hear. Bonjour, comment ça va? Ça va très bien, merci. Et toi? The leaves do look like hearts. They're very cute, these leaves, aren't they? Oh, thank you, Moonlight Galaxy. Well, I mean, the whole reason why I started this channel is because of Amanda, because I was way too scared and didn't really understand what streaming was. And then she was like, come along and be my friend. And so I thought, well, I'll come along and be your friend. And it turns out that was really nice. And everyone in the chat was so incredibly lovely. And I thought, well, this is lush. I will get myself the equipment so that I can do it too. Ok, alors, on continue avec le prochain question. Le question prochain. See, I don't know what the syntax is. I'm very bad, you guys. I've got a good accent. I've got no grammar. The next question was from Matthew J. Fock, and it was... I got a few questions like this, so this will be a bigger one. What is your method on preventing pests and bugs from indoor houseplants? So let me safely replace the bonsai out of tripping distance, and then I'm going to grab a bottle from behind me. English may be my first language, but I still feel like learning English from you. Nova, that's wild. You want a posh English accent? Okay. So, actually, I tell you what we might do. I might go and get a glass of water. I might BRB you for literally 1 minute while I go and get some more water because last night was the wrap party for Lego Batman, and I did a lot of shouting in a loud room, and maybe drank a fair few cocktails, and consequently, I am dehydrated. So I'm gonna burb you for 1 second. I made a little. Oh, thank you for the follow. Um, I made a little burb screen for this, and then I will be back very shortly. Hello. I really want to figure out like how to add some music to my starting screens and BRB screens so that they're like atmospheric and vibey. I feel like we're in this clattering silence. You like my BRB screen? That is um that's my tomato chart. Wait, I'll show you. Can I do this? Um mm, 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 mm. Where are you, tomato chart? Um I my first year growing tomatoes, I grew them all in this sad little greenhouse actually. They were all very crowded. Here they are, being all crowded and stuff. Um, I am showing you, right? Yeah, good, okay. And then the second year, I decided to be very Dr. Pamela Isley about it and test all of the variables. And so I grew tomatoes in all different kinds of situations. Um, and then I made notes of like which ones did well and which ones didn't. I was like, I'm going to test and see what is how the tomatoes are the happiest. So which species likes to be in which thing. And I made this chart. Can you see if I zoom in? Yeah. Um, so I wanted it to be a visual chart. I can't believe I'm sharing this publicly. Yes, okay. So the skulls meant. Oh, thank you for the follow. The skulls meant the plant died. I had sown about like 20 to 30 little seedlings, and they all survived, which I didn't expect. So I was like, okay, I'm going to start testing variables. And so some of them died very young, as you can see from this sad little, they grew this big and then they died. And then these are the ones that grew more, and then the uncolored in fruits are unripened fruits, and then I colored them in as they ripened, basically just to show how prolific they were and when they were flowering and things like that. So there you go. That's what my BRB screen is. um, Thank you, Moonlight Galaxy. Yes, it was me being as scientific as I could be, and what I discovered was that they like loads of sun. They're pretty good in the wind. They can handle wind. I get a lot of wind because I'm in a high-rise building. They can handle the wind. They like loads of sun. And also one thing that they benefit from in the wind is they don't like to be damp, and they don't like condensation. And so actually the wind kind of helps keep them dry and keeps powdery mildew away. Okay, sweet. So now we're going to go back to the question that was asked. The question that was asked was, what is your method of preventing pests and bugs from indoor houseplants? And that is a very prescient question, because pests and bugs are the bane of every beginner gardener. Because usually you don't know what you're looking for, and then you don't notice something beginning to happen, and then it's too late. You notice once your plant is already on death's door and is swarming with some critter. And so I can tell you how to identify some of the most obvious ones, but I thought, instead of going through kind of case by case, because that might get kind of a bit too dull and a bit too detailed, I would just tell you the kind of all-purpose thing that I do. So here's the all-purpose thing. The all-purpose advice is, if you see your houseplant's leaves yellowing, that means your plant's unhappy. And it can be unhappy for so many reasons: too much water, too little light, or bugs. The first thing to do is, if you see yellowing leaves, cut them off. A yellowing leaf is never going to improve again. It doesn't come back. Once it's turned yellow, that's it. And it keeps drawing energy from the plant. It's an expression of the plant's stress. And if you cut it off, and then you're trying to fix, and we'll go through the options, the various problems, what you can see is, once you've cut off all the yellow leaves, if more leaves continue to yellow, it's very easy for you to see, like, I haven't fixed the problem yet, or like, oh, okay, that was it. So sometimes I'll go and I'll see a plant, because I neglect my plant so terribly. I won't have watered it for ages, and I'll see yellowing leaves, and I'll go, okay, the soil is bone dry, yellowing leaves. I take off the yellowing leaves, I water the plant, and that solves it. If I water the plant and the leaves are still yellowing and everything else looks fine, then you think, okay, something else is going on. So, for pests, there is a kind of fix-all thing that works amazingly and that is really easy to do. It doesn't, over explaining this thing. Yellow leaves are cool and fashion. No, we don't like the cool fashion yellow leaves. We want green only. It is essentially trial and error, Mido, but you get used to, you kind of get a vibe. My pothos vines, which I have millions of, actually, I'm going to show you a pothos, but I'll show you, I'll grab one as an example. These are my favorite beginner plants, TBH. Look at these gorgeous kids. And they're living in water completely. See? Can you see? Whoop. Look at all of the amazing roots in there. I will talk about pothos vines. Don't get me started. I won't stop. But yeah, when they start to yellow, just snap them off. Because it's just the plant's way of telling you, like, I'm stressed out, and it won't get better. You have to just fix the reason why the leaf was going yellow as best you can. Trial and error. You can tell, is the soil, like, does this water look murky and it need changing? If it's in soil, does the soil look super dry? Does the soil look too wet? That's another one. They like to live in a happy medium. Get it started, Alex. What are you saying? Are you saying, can you get on track, for God's sake? Stay on one subject. That is also known as devil. Sorry, I'm just shouting at you. That is also known as devil's ivy. And I don't grow English ivy, but I do grow absolutely heaps of golden pothos, aka devil's ivy. So I thought, that's my ivy. That's Ivy's ivy. How appropriate. What if 90% of the plant's leaves are yellow? Well, you remove 90% of the leaves. One thing I've learned about plants is you can be a lot rougher with them than you think. They can handle quite a lot, and that definitely comes with experience. You come to realize there are like, I can't really explain it to you. Like, you will just get it as you get more and more experience working with them. But certain things you can just be quite brutal with. You can cut off a lot, and it's often better to do that. Anything that looks diseased, anything that looks unhealthy, and the plant will, Jeff Goldblum said it, nature finds a way. Like, it will come back if you improve the other conditions for it. So sometimes completely changing out the soil, cutting off almost all the leaves. I mean, as a general rule, cutting off more than a third of a plant's leaves is quite a stressful event for them. But if it's already in a really stressed situation, you're actually reducing the water demands on it by getting rid of all of those extra leaves. So you might be helping it out. Okay. Ristastic, welcome back. Arctic, go to sleep. have a good rest. All right, let me tell you about my cure-all thing for pests. So there's a bunch of common pests. We've talked briefly in a previous stream about thrips, which are pretty much the worst I've ever dealt with. But then there are also spider mites. They are pretty pernicious. They are basically teeny, teeny, tiny spiders. They look more like dots, but they're quite fast moving, and their webs are super fine, so it's often hard to spot them. If it looks like a spider web, that's probably a spider and nothing to worry about. Spiders are definitely our friends, and we are on team spider. But spider mites are much smaller, and much finer and teeny tiny. And what they do is, rather than eat other bugs, which is what spiders do, which is why we like them, spider mites suck the sap out of the plant. And so you'll start to see kind of mottled leaves, and then you'll see sort of super fine webbing in the like around the stem, in between the leaves. Not fun at all, quite hard to kill. If you encounter any of these pests, or if you think maybe there are pests but you haven't spotted them, you're not really sure what to do, here's something that you can do that will not harm your plant at all and will kill most pests that you really don't want to have. And it is called insecticidal soap. You can use, I think, regular soapy water, but there is something specifically good about potassium soap, which is what insecticidal soap is. It's pretty cheap. You dilute it hugely. So you dilute it, you put it in a spray bottle, and then you put your plant in like a bathtub or take it outside, and you wash the heck out of this thing. You wash it like you're gonna show it off. like it's going on stage. Like, this thing has to be, you want to cover the front and back of every single leaf, every stem. Give it a good rinse in the shower. If you do that, I think what happens is the soap like breaks through. It's like a coating on the exoskeleton of the insect and dehydrates them, and that's how they die. Insecticidal soap, like soapy water spray, will kill aphids. So I use it outside when my herbs have aphids on them. And they will kill thrips. Well, the ones that you can get at. So thrip larvae, thrip adults. It will kill spider mites of all varieties. So generally, that soapy water spray is your answer, Matthew. the original asker of the question, that will like, it's the best stuff. And also make sure plants all like shiny and clean, because sometimes plants in houses get really dusty and that makes it harder for them to photosynthesize. So it's nice to give them a little bath sometimes, you know? Some people swear by neem oil. I don't. I've never found it to do anything good whatsoever. So I don't neem. I've neemed. I don't neem anymore. All right. What else? What else? You've seen white powder-like pests on your tomatoes. Okay. Ficus Kumar. This could be one of two things. I'm going to show you on the internet what it could be. If the powder is, let's do this. It could be powdery mildew, which likes tomato plants. So if it looks like that, that is a fungus. Powdery mildew is possible to combat. There are DIY like home stuff that you can make. I think there's a spray that you can make. It's this solution actually. It's the soapy water, but the more important ingredient in it is that it has either baking powder or baking soda. I forget which one. You'd have to Google it. But you just put a bunch of, let's say, baking soda in the water. And I think because the baking soda is super alkali, that's the thing that gets rid of the mildew. The way that you avoid mildew, powdery mildew from taking over your plants, you can't really stop the spores from coming in because they are just endemic all over the world. But you can stop them taking hold by trying to keep your plant leaves dry. So when you water your garden plants, you want to be watering the soil, not the leaves. So you know that like rose that comes on the end of a watering can that makes everything spray out fine, and then you're like watering your plants liberally, like, oh, this is great, you know, it's just like it's raining. You want to avoid doing that if you can. You want to water directly around the base of the plant at the soil. Keep your leaves dry, space them out if you can so that there's space for like airflow to go around them. That will hugely help to prevent powdery mildew from taking over. And don't worry if you eat food that has, like I had it all over my tomato plants. If you wash the tomatoes, it's not harmful. Powdery mildew is not harmful to human beings. It's not great. It's kind of skeezy. So it makes the plant sicken very quickly. But it's although it's kind of creepy, I know a lot of people, like myself included, find spores quite creepy. But ultimately, it's a very mild kind of fungus to be dealing with. Does this look like the thing you were talking about, Vikas Kumar? Because the other thing it could be are mealybugs. But if you said, did you say tomatoes? I feel like if it's tomatoes, it's probably powdery mildew. But I'm going to show you mealybugs because they are also, there's a white powder involved. I'm like blocking my keyboard completely. I could move my keyboard. Oh, yeah. Problem solved. Look at these guys. Do we think they're cute or do we think they're horrifying? It's quite hard to tell. They look kind of prehistoric, like trilobites. Is that the right word? And you can get these on your indoor houseplants and you can get them outdoors and you're going to vote for horrifying. You know what? Fair dues, Mido. Pretty horrifying. They're pretty prehistoric and awesome, though. The tricky thing about mealybugs is, you know how I said they're prehistoric and awesome? What they are is they have this really strong kind of armor. Now, that's obviously super zoomed in. A mealybug in actuality is about how would I describe it to you in terms of size? 0.5 centimeter. Shall I take the mealybugs away, guys? Is this horrifying to look at? Um, I don't want to gross you all out. What's the least gross? I feel like I'm making it worse. Okay, look, we won't dwell on this, but what I will say is you can see that these bugs are like, big old dinosaurs, but they leave behind them kind of a floof. And the floof is the thing that you spot. Okay, I'm going to leave the mealybugs, so it's just us. The floof, if it looks kind of like you've got white cotton collecting in like crevices of your plant, that is a sign that mealybugs are there. And they are quite tricky. The soap spray would kill them theoretically, except it usually can't get through the armor of their exoskeleton. So actually the best thing for mealybugs, they don't move quickly. You can see where they are. They like to hang out deep into crevices of plants, is isopropyl alcohol. Now, alcohol really dries out the plant tissues. So you don't want to like spritz your whole plant with alcohol because that's a disaster for the plant. But you can use like a Q-tip, a cotton bud, or sometimes I use a paintbrush that I have like a jar of isopropyl alcohol. And where I see the mealybugs, I will paint them with the alcohol. It's a very murdery thing to do. I apologize to the insect kingdom. But what that is strong enough to basically get through their coat. Marco Meatball followed me. Marco, are you here? He might not be here. I'm giving I've opened a botany school. No, I'm not. He's not here. Well, that's good. If you were here, I'd be embarrassed about how much I feel like I'm being boring talking about plants, but everyone's being extremely kind. I've been horrifying people with images of insects like this. How do you feel about this, Marco? She said, not changing the screen. Are you horrified or fascinated? Are you a bug guy? You're way past apologizing to the arthropods now. It was very stationary, like it's part of the plant, Vikas Kumar. Yeah, I think it was probably the powdery mildew then that you had. Who doesn't want that? Now, if it were a tick, that's another thing I don't think that we have in the UK. Maybe, or I've never encountered one, thank God. Oh, thank you, James. Okay. You're all very kind about my botanical yapping. So I think let's get these disgusting things off the screen. And let's go back to plants. And I will answer another question. Wait, is that the whole stream? I collected a bunch of questions from people and I've just been answering them with the help of Google Images and photos of my garden. I'm trying, to be smooth with this stuff, but I've already tripped over a bunch of plants. The whole stream is about botany. Yeah, that's what we're doing. This is my pun title for it was the Ivy League because, this is how poison ivy goes to school. Is this a biology lesson? No, I wish I were equipped. I'm not a good enough student of biology. I find it endlessly fascinating, though. Oh, thank you, Moonlight Galaxy. That's so nice. I have embraced streaming, Marco. It's very, I just can't believe how kind everybody is. I'm sure that when my following grows, I'll discover that people are not always as delightful as you lot are. But thanks for being delightful thus far. I really appreciate it. You're all being very, very nice. Can you see more of the garden? People told me to make sure that I don't dox myself by showing the garden. I don't know how at risk I am of doing that. But what can I show you that seems utterly benign? Surely Surely many things. So my garden is I call it my sky garden because I live in a high-rise building. And wait, I need to fix this because while I've got this screen up, I can't see the chat anywhere. And that's very frustrating. Yeah, let me do that. Although it's only showing the Twitch. Don't show landmarks, says Marco. Okay, well, that's quite hard because my view's got a lot of landmarks in. Do you know what I mean? More of my garden. Is this? That's not showing anything. Look. So the first things I bought for my big balcony outside were, I really like tropical plants. That is my favorite style of garden. I think probably because I am English and so I'm surrounded by European style gardens, and although they're beautiful, they're very normal to me, and so I really like a tropical garden. And so I was looking for plants that will survive in a London climate, especially where I am in this high rise, so it needs to be able to handle crazy wind and loads of rain and strong sun, and also plants that are evergreen, because I did not want, it's so cold so much of the year here, and I wanted things to be pretty and lush and green the whole time. So I bought lots of things like this Chimerops, which is an incredibly hardy plant and stays green and gorgeous and spiky all year round. Oh, this is the spurge I was telling you about. Spurge. This is my spurge being guarded by Surge. Surge guards the spurge, and the reason why Surge guards the spurge is because my other spurge was uprooted by magpies, so they needed a bodyguard. Okay, I need to come back and look at the chat. It's very windy. It's very windy up here. It gets crazy. Zay, your girlfriend wants to become a forest ranger? Ah! That's amazing. What a lovely thing to do with your life. Is London as humid as they say? Yes. I will say my association with humidity is in heat. Like, you go to Southeast Asia and it hits you in the face and you're like, oh my God, this is incredible. It obviously doesn't feel like that here because it's so cold, but generally. But it's humid enough, and we don't have AC, and it just basically means that you can get really clammy. Living in London's quite a clammy experience. You travel on the underground, clammy. You're in a bus, clammy. You're in an old Victorian house, clammy. So there you go. These plants would not survive in your city. It's too hot. A very tropical country. Well, you know what though? Most of my house plants would survive outdoors for you, because a lot of the tropical, like the pothos, the monsteras that for us are only house plants. And I find them, like I said earlier, quite annoying as houseplants. But we're in the tropical climates that they're supposed to grow in, they're incredible because they're climbing plants, and the leaves get gigantic and they grow like weeds and they climb all the way up buildings. And I dream. I would love to have a giant monstera outside. I think they're so gorgeous. Have I ever gone overseas to Southeast Asia? I have been to Vietnam and to Cambodia, and that is it. I spent a month in Vietnam, and my trip to Cambodia was very brief. I went to Angkor Thom and explored all of the temple complex, and because it was a bucket list wish of mine, and it was absolutely incredible, but I didn't see any more of the country, and I haven't been anywhere else in Southeast Asia, and I would love to go back. The flights are extremely expensive from the UK, but I loved everything about Southeast Asia that I've seen so far. What does clammy mean? Is it similar to cozy? It is not. Clammy is when you're like a little bit sweaty. It's a little bit sticky. It's not a nice feeling. It's the kind of like, Oh, oh, my clothes are sticking to me a little bit. That's clammy. um, am I going to support Scotland for the World Cup? Well, I'd support Scotland doing anything. I don't know anything about football. It is not, I'm not really the most sport focused person, but I do love Scottish people. So up the Scots, basically, good for you. Um, I love Scotland. They've got lovely architecture in Southeast Asia. I agree. All right. I said I was going to go to questions, and then I didn't do that. You know why? Because you guys are too interesting to talk to. It's your fault. Um, I'm sorry that I had to be the one to tell you about clammy. Oh no, I've clicked on the wrong thing. I tell you what, so that's some of my garden outside. You saw little bits. This is safe. I grow lots of dahlias, lots of lovely flowers. I have a palm tree. I'm very pleased with my palm tree. It's a Chinese windmill palm. Most of the plants that survive up here for me are indigenous to mountainous China because it turns out a high rise in London is quite similar in terms of climate to mountainous China, which is a fun little tidbit. Here's all of my lovely dahlias. I just think dahlias are the most spectacular flowers, man. They're so cool. But the other thing I was going to show you was I have a little indoor garden as well, which is where I propagate my seeds and where I grow herbs. And it is hydroponic. Let me see if I have any pictures of the hydroponic system, because that's so rad. This is not hydroponic. This is me just growing seedlings. Have I ever been in Russia? I have not. But привет, if you are Russian. Как дела? Alex lives in Chenyu Vale. Exactly. Oh my God, how lucky am I? I live in Chenyu Vale. Oh my God, that's so dreamy. I thought I did have pictures of my hydroponic, but it seems that I don't. So we'll talk about that on a different plant stream. You know, we can move that for now. All right. Your favorite flower is a pink lotus. I love lotus flowers. Oh, when I went to Vietnam and there were pink lotus, like, oh my God, like the growing everywhere, but especially in the middle of the city, it was the most enchanting thing to me, because to my mind, they're so tropical and exotic and like magical. So to see them growing in the middle of like traffic, was unbelievable. Yeah, gorgeous. And jasmine is lovely. They smell incredible. My favorite flowers are dahlias, like the ones I've been showing you. They come in so many different colors and shapes. They're so dramatic. Their stems are really strong. In fact, they're indigenous to Mexico. And wait, let me take you with me. They're indigenous to Mexico. And I think their name, I'm not sure if it's dahlia or if it's the indigenous name that the Central Americans used for dahlias, but it was basically like a pipe or a straw because their stems are really thick and really straight and really strong. And indigenous communities used to use them. We're talking like pre-agricultural, like a very long time ago. Used to use them for like irrigation. They used to use them for physical, we need a pipe, we need a straw, we need some way of like transporting this liquid. And they used the dahlia stems for that because they're so cool and strong and functional. Nerdy Argon, you love plants. I mean, you're not wrong. Absolutely not wrong. All right. Let us look at another question. Okay. The next question is from Amanda Rochelle, who may still be streaming. She was saying, My monstera is taking over the living room. Should I cut it back or let it grow? So as you can see, this is a monstera behind me. Not that, Alex, every time. And they do get pretty gigantic. And the very brief answer that I would give is cut it back. These are one of these things that you can be kind of harsh with. You can, like I said earlier, cut off up to a third of the plant's leaves and it'll be fine. So if a leaf is kind of looking a little bit old, a little bit shabby, those leaves are so big so they can get torn, they can get bruised. If it's starting to look a little bit the worse for wear, or if it's just growing in an annoying place, just cut it off. Because often when you cut off new leaves, what it will do is, old leaves, sorry, is encourage the plant to grow new leaves that are healthier and stronger and newer and lovelier. So don't be shy. Just hack away. But whenever you are cutting material off a plant, you want to try and use clean scissors, and you want to try not to like tear too much. So you want to kind of make a clean, sharp little cut and let it dry. And that should cause no problem at all for your plant. Do you have any succulents? I know that's not an idiot-proof plant. I really appreciate you saying that it's not an idiot-proof plant, Ristastic, because a lot of people, I used to think I didn't have a green thumb because I could not keep succulents alive. People would give you, you're a girl and they give you a cute little succulent like it's a little desk plant. And you're like, oh, how adorable. And then you kill the thing because they're actually quite tricky. I don't have any succulents indoors, but I will show you something I'm quite proud of, which is I realized that I could grow them outside. And actually, I kind of do like a harsh Mother Nature approach, which is if you die, you die. You weren't meant to live on my balcony. And if you live, great, I'll propagate loads of you. You were meant to live on my balcony. So if I feel like I'm battling uphill, I just give up and go, I'm going to do something easier. So let me show you. The fun thing about succulents is that you can propagate. I swear they were here. Have I lost my mind? Where are my succulents? Oh, here they are. Okay, so look at these lovely things. I know it's not like the fanciest, but this is a planter full of succulents. And the amazing thing about a succulent is that you can propagate an entire new plant from every single leaf. So I found a bunch of succulents in the dumpster of my building. Someone had moved out and had abandoned. They had literally thrown this thing in the trash. It was beaten up, just a total mess. And I brought it, but also when succulents don't have enough light, they do this thing called etiolating, which is where they grow a really long stem because they're basically like, is there light up here? Help, I'm in the dark. So this thing was etiolated, it was bashed, it was bruised, it was a mess. And yes, I rescued the monstera and the succulents. Correct. Good lore knowledge, Mido. So what I did was I took all of the leaves that looked kind of healthy-ish off the succulent, and you can leave it out. If you get a nice potting mix for a succulent, which basically means something kind of dry and chunky. So something that's got gravel in it, or vermiculite, or what's the other thing called that I like so much? The white stones. I've completely blanked, but the internet will tell you. You put it on a suitable-ish substrate, potting mix. You just sit the leaf on top of it. And then you have to be really patient for a really long time. Every now and then, spritz it lightly with water, but we're talking like the tiniest amount of water. You have to leave now. Passe une bonne journée. Et toi aussi. À la prochaine. Merci pour revenu. Okay, so pumice, is that what I mean? Maybe that is what I mean. If you wait for ages, I wonder if you can see, or maybe I can pull it up here. Propagating succulents. Little roots will start to grow out of the base of the leaf, and it's really cute. You have to wait for a long time. I'm talking like over a month. Let us see. Yes, look how adorable. Okay, this is a perfect image. Okay, so the first thing that will show up are the little hairy roots. And then this little cluster of tiny leaves, that's a whole new succulent growing. And it uses the old leaf as a food source. So that old leaf will just kind of like get sucked up like a juice box and then will wither and die away. So you can see this one on the left is really almost completely used up. But by that point, it's grown its own roots so that basically it can start to draw its own nutrients from itself. So what is, I will show you now on my photos. So this is a succulent planter at the very early stages. You can see the tiny new little plants beginning. And here is the leaf that it started on. It's all shriveled up and dry. That's the leaf that one started on, and it's growing in here. And then when they get slightly bigger, here's one that's a little bit further along. So that's the starter leaf. You can still see still kind of hanging on, but for these other ones, because they've grown bigger, their starter leaves are gone. And this now has roots in the soil. And then by the time they're progressed, they're like this size. And I leave it out in the rain. I put it under slightly cover because it rains it's way too wet in England, really, for most succulents. But there you go. That's a Haworthia, I believe, the tall one. Gorgeous. Yeah, I actually don't know the species at all. And I had to do a bunch of Googling because I didn't buy these plants. I saved them from the trash. So I thought one of them was a jade plant. I think not. I think this one might be.
10 suscripciones.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for the gifted, Ursine. The computer, you're the computer wizard, aren't you? If I remembered this, your name is Bear. You were in our Disco Elysium stream. Thank you so much. That's so kind. Welcome. Okay, lovely. All right. I'm overwhelmed by that, and I've lost my... Are they in direct sunlight? Yeah. They want all light all the time. And I think that's a big reason why my succulents that had been given to me as gifts really struggled, because you put them in your flat where it's way too dark and they don't survive. All of the plants in my desk area, I wanted my desk to be full of plants. They are all fake plants, because it's far too dark here. Yes, stream what you love. That's what I've come to do. So here you go. We've arrived. We're inspired by that generosity. We've arrived at the more practical part of my stream, which is not a computer wizard, just a software developer. Do you know what I mean? To me, that's at least a warlock. You know what I mean? That's pretty wizardy. You are currently replaying a childhood game I used to play on the DS. You have your own garden, and for animals to come over, you have specific plants. Oh, that's cool. You just unlocked an axolotl. Ugh. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. All right. So, the practical part that I was going to do here. I feel like I'm going to drop something else or like pour water on my computer. Here's hoping it's uneventful. Your linguistic aptitude feels like a dark art to me. Oh, gosh, thank you. I always have to say, I feel like such a fraud too. There are so many people in this chat who are bilingual, trilingual, quadrilingual, and that is so normal. And here I am as someone who for whom English is their first language, who can speak little tiny phrases here and there. And people are like, wow, it's amazing. I'm like, that's not amazing. Everybody else who's fluent in multiple languages, that's amazing. But I appreciate the kindness, and I'm trying to learn more every day. I can't even speak my own language. I don't believe that. This is your second language, eh? You're proving my point, mate. Dutch is horrible. No, Dutch is lekker. Is that right? Dutch is goed. Okay, I'm gonna get my props. All right. So, this was in answer to somebody who asked me. It was Alexandre. Alexandre said, have you tried growing an ivy plant? If yes, any tips? And I don't grow English ivy, but as I've mentioned probably a bunch, because it's my favorite plant for beginners. My hands down, no contest, favorite plant for getting a green thumb and feeling really rewarded because you see results really quickly and you can totally change the look of a room really quickly is devil's ivy, aka pothos. And this is actually not a devil's ivy. This is a different type of pothos. This is called silver pothos. And I love it because I love the leaves. Let me show you. Look how beautiful they are. They're so pretty. I love them so much. Wait, I got distracted by the chat now that I'm staring right at it. You with 4 languages. You see, that's what I'm talking about, cute copy. Okay. This gorgeous, I love the variegation on these leaves. This is called silver pothos. I think it's actually quite a different species from the golden pothos that I showed you earlier, which I've just put on the ground. Don't know why I've done that. It's very helpful of me. So here's the thing that I want to tell you about silver pothos, or pothos in general. They all grow in the same way. That's why I'm referring to them all in the same way. They have a very similar system of growing. In fact, identical system of growing. So you will buy pothos plants from any old place. Everywhere sells them because they're super easy to take care of and they grow really fast. And when you buy something like this, you might think this is one plant, but it isn't. This isn't one plant. This, every single stem that you see is a plant. So I'm no good at counting, but that's a bunch of plants. And they grow as vines incredibly quickly, which is why they're such satisfying plants for beginners, because you really see the results. But they grow so fast that they can get really out of control. And that can feel overwhelming until you realize that they are the easiest plants ever to propagate. So you buy one plant, you think, or one pot of a bunch of plants from a hardware store or something, and it costs you like 0 money. And then you let it grow. You water it once every 2 weeks, maybe. Once every week if you want. You don't overwater it. They can handle being dry. They'll droop and tell you, like, you don't even have to be psychic. You can wait for them to kind of wilt slightly and then you water them and then they'll perk right back up again. They are like the most resilient things. And then when they grow like crazy, and I need to stand up to show you an example of how they grow like crazy. It's going to be illustrative. This is how out of hand the vines can get. This plant is currently sat on my desk, right? So it's with you here. Can you see how crazy this gets? It's crazy. It's so crazy. They grow so long. And then what happens often when they grow long is that the leaves close to the soil end fall off, which is fine. But when leaves fall off a pothos vine, they don't regrow. So you end up with these kind of like bald stems. She's bald for a while. And then at the end, she's getting happier and happier and happier. And she's still happy up here. But this is when I saw someone in the chat say, chop and prop. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do a chop and prop live. You want to chop and prop with me, guys? I thought this might be an interactive activity. I want to show you how easy these things are. Thank you for the follow. Okay. So first things first, just to prove that I mean what I say. You see how that leaf is yellow? That's coming off. So what I'm going to do is just bend it back at the stem. Bye. I'm going to leave this leaf on, even though it's yellowing, because this is the only leaf that that stem has. And so I want to give it a chance to try and produce another leaf before I take that one off. If you take off all the leaves of a plant, it's going to struggle. So I'll leave that one on. I'm going to grab my scissors. Or do I have some here? I'm going to grab my scissors. And I'm going to show you the plant she tells you not to worry about. This is a Rapunzel plant. It's actually really fun. If you have like, you can put them on top. I have them upstairs in my like TV room that has bookshelves. I put them on the top of my bookshelves, and then I let the vines like trail down the books, which does make it somewhat harder to find the books. But the experience is that you're in a jungle library and therefore everybody's having a good time. So I'm going to show you how we do this. We are cutting off this vine. I'd re-angle the camera. Well, you know what? I'm not going to re-angle the camera because things will go wrong if I do this. But I'm going to show you. I'm cutting off this vine right at the base of the plant. And whenever I'm making cuts, what I'm thinking about is where the nodes are in the plant. So you see all these segments along here? These are all nodes. Nodes are where leaves will grow from. And they're also where roots will grow from. They're basically, I think, the kind of hormonal hub of the plant. So I'm cutting this off right at the base of the plant. So now this like 6-meter vine is disconnected. And I'm going to put the mother plant out of the way so that I don't send it flying like I did last time. Okay. Now we just have the vine. And here's what I'm going to do. All of this vine without leaves, it is possible to propagate from this, but it's like difficult and a pain in the butt and I can't be bothered. So these things are so easy to grow. I'm not doing the hard way. I am going to cut this off. Okay, here's the first leaf after the bald section. I'm going to cut this off here, just on the other side of the node. Yoink. And I'm going to throw away all of this. If you have any small Tarzans that want to go swinging through the canopies, these vines are actually really strong and impressive. And every time I throw them away, I'm like, I could make a basket with this. I could do so much. Won't that be great fertilizer? I'm just reading to check that you... Yes, the bald sticks-only nodes you can propagate using wet sphagnum. I just could never be bothered to get sphagnum and put it in a bag and do any of that stuff. What I'm going to show you is so easy, but Nyarahabaki is absolutely correct. That is what you do if you want to make plants out of this. I'm going to throw it in the bin because I'm lazy. Okay, here's what we're going to do to propagate it. You need one node for roots to grow out of, and you need at least one leaf, maybe 2 leaves, maybe 3 leaves. You don't want more than that because that's too much. Leaves require water, so that's an awful lot of stress on this baby brand new plant. So here's my node, here's my 1 leaf, and I'm going to cut it off right after the leaf. And then if I put this in water, I'm trying to prepare some stuff here, but I don't want to pour water on my PC. So you get a vase like this, glass, whatever, put it in a jar, a cup, doesn't matter. And then you fill up water until it covers that node. In no time at all, we're talking like a week maybe, roots will start to grow out of that node. And so when someone says chop and prop, basically that means I could do the same thing for the whole rest of this vine. And you saw how long this vine was and how many leaves there are on it. Every single one of these is a new plant and a new vine will grow from it. So then I could take, let's say, 6 of these individual stems and put them in a small pot with their own soil. And I have a whole new gorgeous overflowing pothos just from one vine that I propagated, which is that I cut off and propagated, which is just like the value for money is crazy, no? I see a vine business happening. Yeah. I mean, well, I tell you what it does sort out is if you have not, if you've got like Christmas coming up and you haven't thought of presents, you're like, I grew this plant for you. It's very easy to give them as gifts. So we'll do a couple more just to show you as we go along. I'll try and be a bit more brutal with it. So here you go. I have a node here. I'm going to chop it off just below the node because basically if you leave the stem too long, it can rot and you don't want that. So I've chopped that off. You can see there's the lovely node. And then I'm going to give this 2 leaves. So I'm going to chop it off after this leaf. And then this is going in my vase with water. And then the next leaf is kind of gross and yellow, so I'm not using that. And then we got some bare nodes, so I'm not using those. So I go to my next leaf that looks nice, find a nice node, and repeat the process. And we won't keep doing this forever because I just wanted to show you how it works. But that is a way of just making loads and loads and loads of plants from one overgrown stem. Yeah. I'm watching this shit for my GCSEs. I wish this kind of thing was on the GCSE syllabus. Do you know what I mean? I think I didn't. GCSE biology was the last time that I did biology. And I loved it, but because in the UK, basically, you're kind of, the way it works is you always narrow your subjects. You start with lots of subjects and then you do fewer and fewer and fewer. You specialize. And so because I went to do English and languages, I had to give up all of my sciences, which was really sad because, as you can tell, I would have enjoyed doing biology more. So I won't keep doing this any longer because I will get distracted. But this whole vine, chopped and propped, put into a vase like this with some water. And if you switch out the water like once a week-ish, it's pretty forgiving. Then I'll show you. it will grow roots like these little baby roots. And then if you want to, you can yoink this out. So let me take one out. Whoa, okay. This one's like an abstract expressionist one. This one's crazy. This one, you can see it's growing roots out of every node it could. So that made contact with the water. So now it's growing roots out of there. This was originally where I wanted it to grow roots out of the bottom. And this one has 3 leaves, and then you can see it's starting to grow. It's still focusing on my face. There we go. It's starting to grow a new stem. If I then, this is something that I often do actually, if I take that mother plant that I cut the long vine off, I just like use a pencil or something, stick a hole in it, stick this into it, it'll grow a whole new long vine. Or you can keep it in water, and these are ones that have lived in water for a long time, so you can see how complex the root system is. And as long as you change the water out every couple of weeks or so, it'll keep growing. As you can see, these guys, they all came from one vine, and they are incredibly happy and prospering. Is that jar enough space? Yeah, I've lost all my words. Pothos. They're really not picky. They are quite happy being root bound, which is what it's called when roots are very, very crowded in a pot. They won't grow. The root system won't grow that much more than this. But also, if it starts to look too crowded, if the water starts to get algae, like if it's not happy, I basically just pull it out the jar. You can just pinch off any roots that have gotten mushy and rotten. Sometimes that happens, but quite rarely. Just divide them, put them in other vases. Get a jar, fill it with water, put one of those in, give that to a mate. It's so easy. Teacher, I think we all think that you might be a plant enthusiast. Have you noticed that I'm quite keen? I like the way the roots grow, man. I just think it's so cool. Before I started learning about this stuff, I hadn't really seen plant roots much. And it's, because they're below the soil, duh. But I just found that on a basic scientific level so interesting. And also, if your plants are unhappy, often digging them up and looking at the roots can be illustrative of what's going on for them. So, don't be shy about getting to know the roots. They clearly did get the right person to play Poison Ivy. It's true. It's very true. I really enjoyed every time I got to be like, I am Mother Nature. It's like, oh, what an honor for someone who's a plant enthusiast to be saying such a thing. While I'm on the topic, the last little bit I will say about propagating. I'm going to struggle to get this back into that little vase, but I'll figure that out. The last little thing I was going to say is that you can do this for most species. I'm focusing on pothos because basically they are so easy and idiot proof, and also the roots show up very quickly. So you kind of like, you're given reassurance very fast. But the snake plant that I showed you earlier, remember the mother-in-law's tongue? A snake plant leaf, I should show you the whole plant. You can cut off a snake plant leaf, and as long as you remember which way up it was, so you have to keep it the top bit at the top and the bottom bit at the bottom. Do not flip it over. If you chop it into sections, and they could be kind of any length, really, and then put the bottom part in a little bit of water, and you have to be very patient. You have to wait a long time. It's like succulents. They take a long time to grow roots. But this will happen. Can you see? So this is a section of a snake plant leaf, and it's got little God damn it, focus. It's got little roots. Subway 345, you never heard of a snake plant? I showed it earlier. Wait. Okay, you see this spiky thing next to the guitar? That's a snake plant. So these are all propagations from a single leaf. And on this one, you can actually see not only is it growing roots, but that's growing a new snake plant already. It's budding. And I think they work very similar to the succulents. They'll basically use this body of plant tissue as a food source until the roots get established, and then this will die away and the new plant will grow from there. And I've done the same thing with lucky bamboo. Thank you for the sub. Hello, welcome. Yeah, I've done the same thing with lucky bamboo. Can you see the lucky bamboo? I can't be bothered to get up and go and get them again, guys. Okay, no, I'll be bothered. I'll be bothered. This is lucky bamboo. Well, it's known as lucky bamboo. It's not a bamboo at all. It's not a member of the bamboo family. It is a Dracaena. Dracaena come in so many different kinds. They are very popular houseplants. And what I did was I cut off one of the shoots of this lucky bamboo. As you can see, it's getting tall and ahead of itself. And put that in water, and that's starting to grow its own roots. So basically, it will be one of these, which is quite fun. It's called a snake plant, I think, because of the shape of the leaves. They just look like a, big, tall, long, wavy snake. That is an interesting shape. Yes, I will say. So the lucky bamboo, it has this curly shape because I think what happens is the growers manipulate it using plants have this thing called phototropism, which basically means that no matter which way they're facing, they will grow. They'll grow both towards the light and upright. They have two kind of biological instincts. I think phototropism means they're growing towards the light, but I think there's another word for the thing about them growing upright. And basically what they do is they rotate the plant or the light source, but they put it around a mold and they manipulate how it grows so that it grows into this coil. So if I grow the lucky bamboo offshoot myself, this thing is just going to grow straight up because I don't really feel like I'm in a phototropic period of my life. I can't be bothered doing that. But I think their foliage is very beautiful, and I'm quite fond of, in feng shui terms, I'm quite fond of plants that have a, I don't know, are dynamic in terms of the energy that they give off. I really appreciate you guys staying to listen. In Finnish, we call snake plants mother-in-law's tongue. We talked about that earlier. Hello, by the way, Finland. Wait, should we get my Finnish greeting? I can remember how to say thank you, but not... Oh, it's just hey. All of the Scandinavian countries all just have a slightly different hey. Yeah, mitä kuuluu? Mitä kuuluu, Finland? Is geotropism... I think geotropism might be you're right, the one where it grows up, and then phototropism is that it's growing towards the light. Thank you, Subway 345. Yeah, lots of countries call snake plants mother-in-law's tongue. We were talking about it earlier, and it's because the leaves are very sharp. So it's supposed to be a kind of, well, she's a witchy woman with a sharp tongue. But I've decided to reclaim it, that it's called mother-in-law's tongue because it's beautiful. It's easy to look after. It's puts up with a lot of nonsense and neglect, and is tolerant of the dark. I don't know. I feel like I've fallen off there. Thank you for the follow. Okay. We call it Svekerdin Jezek. Svekerdin. How do we? I had a Croatian pronunciation, man. Hivakulu. Yeah, all I can remember in Finnish is how to say thank you. So kiitos. Kiitos paljon. Shoots of plants are negatively geotropic and roots show positive shoots. Shoots are negatively geotropic away from the earth and roots are positively geotropic into the earth. Beautiful. And you can see that super clearly actually when you propagate succulents from leaves, because you will see, you put the leaf flat on the earth and those roots will come out first horizontal and then they'll eventually be like, I sense the earth, and start to go into the earth. And the shoot will be like, come out horizontal and then go, oh, hello, I see the sun, and go up that way. It's very cute. Sve kurv in jezik. Is your yet like a y or is it a j? Because I find Croatian vowels, I've encountered them. I mean consonants. I've encountered them before and been like, what? J, is it jezik? What are we learning here? All sorts, to be honest. I'm overexcited and underhydrated. Jezik. Ah. Svekervin jezik. The snake plant absolutely purifies the air from a variety of air pollutants. Very true. All right, I'm going to clear my desk so that I don't knock things over, and then I'm going to come back and chat. We're back. Oh, hello, crazy hair. I thought I was liberating myself. It's not good when you can see yourself on stream. Okay. Thank you. I'm glad that I said the Croatian correctly. All right. What was my favorite part of doing Ivy? I mean, I to be honest, I wish that there was more of her, because she's basically a boss fight. And so I really liked, there's a little scene as Dr. Pamela Isley, where she is trying to persuade Bruce Wayne to make more ecological choices with his squillions of monies. And I just like doing that stuff so much. There's some Easter eggs also. If you like turn on the radio throughout Lego Batman, Dr. Isley is doing kind of like I'm doing right now, actually. Oh my God, it's exactly like what I'm doing right now. She does like plant tips on the radio. I can't believe I hadn't thought of this previously. Yeah, Pamela's plant tips. And I really enjoyed recording all of those. Also, some of them she gets kind of increasingly unhinged as she's recording. So obviously just doing what I'm doing now, but with jokes written by the brilliant Lego writers was my favorite part of doing the stream. I can't believe I forgot about that. That's so funny. I love Dr. Pamela Isley. She's so adorable. Hello. Hello, hello. All right, let me see. I'm not going to keep going forever, guys. I promise I won't exhaust you fully. But I had a couple other questions that were easier to answer. Krista Fish asked me, what is your favorite plant if you had to pick just one? I feel like you need a wireless headset. You're quite right. The problem is that I'm using my fancy microphone. And so I kind of need to be plugged in order to get the monitoring feedback from the mic. I do have a wireless headset, but then I have to use software for the monitoring, and it's laggy and not reliable and a bit pants. So I thought I'll just take the headphones on and off. But maybe I'll figure something out as I get more experienced doing this. Oh, Zay, you have to go. Thank you so much. We appreciate you greatly. Um, Would I consider playing the guitar for my plants? I don't think that would help them. I don't have guitar skills. These guitars were my parents'. I have inherited them, and so um, now they just hang out with the plants. Um, to be fair, I don't see Poison Ivy as a villain, as she wants mankind to make better choices for Mother Nature. So she does the right thing, but kind of in the wrong way. I couldn't agree more. The right thing in the wrong way. Yeah. We would love to hear your guitar skills. You wouldn't. If you want to hear my guitar skills, just think of, when you're at a party, like a high school house party, and there's an annoying guy who knows how to play one thing badly, and he just won't stop. And he's taken over a whole room, and you're like, Jesus Christ. That's about my level of guitar skill. You put specific music on to help your plants nurture and grow. What kind of music? Are they picky? I feel like the music from Sumeru would be incredible for growing plants too. So anyway, here's Wonderwall is exactly the man I'm talking about. We don't need to hear your subpar Wonderwall, Gavin. you know, I'm really sorry if there's a Gavin in the chat. I have not studied agriculture. I have basically just been very enthusiastically Googling and searching on Reddit for the last several years to answer all of my plant queries. And it actually, it's the reason why I love Reddit, because I think I used to have quite a cynical view of it, but I have found plant communities on there are so incredibly helpful and thorough. So now I'm like a huge Reddit fan because it has taught me botany, essentially. Um, be kind and say stuff to your plants so they grow better. That's so nice. I mean, I feel like they help my mental health so much just by caring for them. Um, and then also just very literally, if you live in a big polluted city like I do, I live in the center of London. Um, they are they absorb a lot of toxic molecules in the air. I was trying to think of the right word. I want to say like uh, compound things like formaldehyde. If you buy, for example, a new mattress and it comes out and it smells of chemicals and you're like, this is awful. I don't want to sleep on this because it smells really bad. And one of the things that it emits sometimes is formaldehyde. um, if you cover them or put all of your air purifying plants around it, they will absorb the formaldehyde and purify the air. So that's what I did when I first moved into my flat and I got my mattress, because it smelt not safe to sleep on. And I just covered it with every houseplant that I had and left it for 24 hours. And then the smell was gone. Amanda finally finished. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna catch up with her stream on the VOD because um I want to see the Edge Runners collab in all of its glory. Yeah. Flowers always make people better, happier, and more helpful. They are sunshine, food, and medicine for the soul. Amen. Um, Winter, you're saying finish the episodes first. Oh yeah, good point. Good point. I'll finish the series because I only have 2 episodes left, I think. So I got to finish the series. Um, Okay, amazing. We're going to do a couple other questions, but I also need to refill my water. So, shall we all take a minute to hydrate ourselves and then I will come back? Yeah? Are good with this? Oh, no, I'm about to take a break, and then Finland shows up with a fascinating fact about moss. I'm a huge fan of moss. Huge fan of Emmy Lowe, the voice of Columbina, especially the voice she's doing for Lucy. It is my cup of tea. So sarcastic and deep and gorgeous. Okay, I'm getting water, and I will be right back. We're back. Okay. I am not going to stream for much longer, but I just thought I'd look at the last couple questions that I had here. Oh, hello. Welcome. Watchdogs 2347. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me see what these other questions were that I assembled. Sorry, I just saw the chat. She looks kind of buff for a girl. I am kind of buff for a girl. That's quite funny because in London slang, buff means like cute, attractive. So thanks. But also, I'm pretty buff. I don't know why, guys, to be honest. It's all just genetics. Everybody in my family is very muscly. But I am a very muscly individual. It's very funny. But I do love to go to the gym. It is definitely one of my happiest happy places. I like to dance and I do lift weights because I am hypermobile, and so I need to help make my joints support my joints that don't work very well by covering them in muscles. So I work on my muscles so that my joints stop dislocating all the time. Put those guns away. Disarm yourself, madam. Yes, I'm very glad now that that we culturally are at a place where it's okay to have muscles as a woman. Because when I was a child, a teenager, 8,000 years ago, I used to get made fun of for having muscles, and everybody called me offensive terms for lesbians because they were being homophobic as well as misogynistic, and it just wasn't very nice. And I think it's so lovely that we're at a time now where it can be like, women should be strong. Why not? We are the creators of life, and we are powerful, and therefore we should also get strong. Remind me not to come across Alex in a gym. Exactly. I look stronger than I am, so it's okay. um, okay, let me see what the other questions were. Oh, I started to answer this and then I got fully distracted. Krista Fish. Oh, thank you, Winter. That's very kind of you. Krista Fish asked me, what is your favorite plant if you had to pick just one? And like I said earlier, I feel like I've blinded myself. Have I blinded myself? Can we do this? No, it's worse. It's worse, guys. Reverse. I love a tropical plant. I love a palm tree. And so my favorite type of plant, if I had to pick just one, is a Kentia palm, which is Hawea forsteriana, I believe, is her name. Let us look up a Kentia palm. Now, to someone who's not a palm enthusiast, I'm sure that palm trees kind of all look the same to you. But these, to me, are like the perfect palm tree. Unlike a butterfly palm. So this is a butterfly palm. IKEA propaganda. Everywhere. Wait, did I change the scene? She forgot to change the scene, you guys. Here we go. I've taken you to the IKEA website, which is very on brand for me because I love IKEA. I like to pronounce all of the words in the most Swedish accent possible. Unfortunately, this is a Latin name, so and this is actually, I'm showing you as an example of a palm that I like less. This is a butterfly palm. I haven't had much luck with butterfly palms. I struggle to keep them alive. But they have these very fine, thin fronds, fine leaves, which is fine, but they do not delight me anything like a Kentia palm, because a Kentia palm has these incredibly dramatic. Let me find a good Kentia palm example. This guy is pretty big. They are huge. And the fronds are all super strong, and every leaf blade is really thick and dark and gorgeous and lush and tropical. And I just think they are the most stunning plants. And I used to have a gigantic Kentia palm, and then unfortunately it got spider mites, and it was before I understood what spider mites were, and so it really destroyed the plant for the most part. What I was able to do, this is another one where if you look here, this is a low res image, but can you see, even though it's low res, let me find one here, maybe this is slightly better. Yeah, this is slightly better. Okay, don't do this to me. Help, escape. We'll just do it from this image. You can see, I think, that there's all of these different bundles. Every one of these stems is a different plant. So when my one all but died, I cut off all of the fronds that were suffering, and I was able to keep like one tiny little stem with one little shoot, and I put that in a small pot. So I actually have two, like kind of back from the dead. That plant still lives on in shoot form, but a Kentia palm is the opposite of a pothos. It grows incredibly slowly. So I did that repotting a couple years ago, and the new ones have maybe 2 more leaves. It's a real slow grower, but that is my all-time fave. I just think they're gorgeous. Isn't she pretty? You see, This lady, she gets it. That's how I feel about her. That's it. Look how huge it is. Ugh, magnifico. Okay, let me see. Other things. There are other questions. I don't know which is best, whether I should just keep answering questions forever, or whether I should save some stuff for a future stream. Because I have been streaming for 3 hours, and so maybe we call it a day. How are you feeling, guys? Do you have any? I might leave those questions, and I can come back to them for another Ivy League, because we'll do another one if you want to. But do you have any questions now before we end, while we are just chit-chatting away? It's been it has been 3 hours. Everyone's fallen asleep, just being like, we're listening to her talk about leaves. Oh, sorry, shouting. There goes the ASMR. Or yells down the mic. Mido, the lacewing larvae. Let's talk about it. So, when I was talking about the magical soap spray that I use for everything, the magical soap spray is really good at eliminating all kinds of critters. But when you're dealing with a pest like thrips, which are particularly insidious because they lay their eggs inside the plant tissue. So even if you kill the larvae that emerge, you kill the adults, the eggs that are inside the plant tissue will hatch, you're done for. And it's just like the hardest stuff to eliminate. You can buy, instead of trying to use chemicals to kill them, you can buy predators that feed on the pests that you don't want. And so I bought lacewing larvae online. And let me show you what lacewing larvae look like, because I promise you it's not as gross. I know larvae sounds gross and you're like, uh-oh, this isn't going to be nice. But actually, these guys, let's do... So, here they are. Is this more gross? I feel like this is less gross, but now I'm concerned that this is more gross. I'm so sorry, guys. It's actually pretty grim. The Google Images it's quite unhinged. Oh dear. It's well, look, we'll click on an image that I sort of like the one I had in my mind's eye, which is kind of like this. They are known as aphid lions. They kind of look like tiny lizards, and they are super aggressive and super hungry. They will, if you have a problem with aphids, they will like chomp, 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 eat all the aphids. And I was slightly concerned because I thought that, I was like, if I buy lacewing larvae, does that mean that I'm going to end up with an apartment full of lacewings? And I'm going to show you. Lacewings are actually quite pretty, aren't they? Gorgeous. They almost look like, if the Lithuanian is still here, laumžirgis, the dragonfly, but they are not. But they are gorgeous, gorgeous little insects. And I thought that if I unleashed lacewing larvae on my plants, I would end up with lacewing everywhere, and that would be the problem. But lacewing larvae are so effective at eating their prey, and they're so voracious that within 24 hours, what they had done, I put them on my plant that had spider mites, and I put them on my plant that had thrips, and outside where there are aphids. And what they had done in one day was eaten all of the pests and then eaten each other. So I don't have any lacewings, and I don't have any lacewing larvae left. I feel like evolutionarily that's a bit of a flaw, but they are full on cannibals. You can buy them online, which is what I did, and you have to take them out of the packet very quickly because if you don't, they'll just eat each other. Are they found everywhere in the world, or should I be careful about them being invasive? That is a very good and responsible question. Are those fangs dangerous in larvae? Yeah, larvae take all forms, and some larvae forms, that's kind of like Pokemon. Some of that like in-betweeny stage is actually very functionally aggressive. So, a caterpillar is the larvae form of a butterfly, and the caterpillar is like chomp, 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 eating away at all of your vegetables. And the same with the lacewing larvae. They are very aggressively predatory, and so they will go around eating insects. I don't even know what the adults do. I don't think the adults are nearly as predatory as the larvae are. Yeah, they eat each other. The next day, I was so confused because I was searching the plant high and low. I'm like, where are they? There were loads of these guys, and I really painstakingly put them all on the areas where my pests were. I was like, good luck, boys. I'll see you tomorrow. And yeah, by tomorrow, they'd done a full Hunger Games. Surely there's one winner somewhere. Like one should make it. There should be a Katniss that emerges. Katniss Lacewing. Yeah. Ristastic, I want to know if they're found everywhere in the world or if you should worry about them being invasive. I mean, the fact that they eat each other so quickly means they probably struggle to be invasive. Let's see. Can lacewing. Sorry that I'm typing so awkwardly. It's because I can't see through my keyboard. Can lacewing be invasive? No, let me clue you into this. Oh, you can see it also. Lacewings are not considered invasive, highly beneficial. Well, I suppose, where are you, Ristastic? What part of the world do you live in? You could be a narrator like David Attenborough with plants. I love David Attenborough so much. He turned 100 years old recently. Isn't that magnificent? What a guy. One of the greatest British people ever to live, I think. You're in India. Okay, so let's try. Are there lacewings in India? Yes, lacewings are native and are widely distributed across India. 32 species of aphid-eating lacewings recorded in the country, with the most common being the green lacewing. So I say, go nuts. Get you some lacewings. They'll eat aphids. They'll eat spider mites. They'll eat thrips. I'm probably going to wait a little bit and then buy some more lacewings because the eggs that are currently they were so effective at eating all of the larvae, but presumably there are still thrips eggs in my plant tissue. And so I'll wait for those to hatch and then get a new batch of lacewings to hopefully get rid of them once and for all. Were they expensive? They're not super cheap, to be honest with you. It is a bit of a investment. Like I've bought ladybirds to use outdoors, and those are quite expensive, and the ladybirds often just fly away immediately, so it can be kind of a waste of money. But with thrips, they are so incredibly hard to get rid of that I'm kind of at my wit's end. Like they're in the monstera, and I've often thought, like, do I just return the Monstera to the dumpster from which I saved it. Because also thrips spread so easily to other plants that I would rather get rid of one plant than risk contaminating like my entire collection. Even today, I'm quite aware that I don't put any of the other plants too close to the Monstera that I was showing you, because the thrips can transfer and then that'll be a gigantic problem. Ficus Kuma, you've never seen them in your life? Well, I'll tell you what, they are quite discreet, elegant little bugs. So, and also the wings are so outsized to the body that usually like that's all you would notice, but they're very small. I would say a centimeter long, maybe. Yeah, I think they're lovely. I'd take a lacewing over a lot of moths or butterflies. I just think they're gorgeous. All right, sweet. Sincerest and heartfelt greetings, Snowball the Fox. Oh no, you weren't here when I was playing Genshin and I accidentally murdered an Arctic fox, were you? I'm very sorry to your people. It wasn't intentional. I think I saw someone asking if I'm going to stream the games again. I definitely am. I wanted to do a plant stream, talking to. I keep doing this, the wrong thing. I wanted to do a plant stream talking to people because that's what. Where is she? Because that's what Poison Ivy would approve of. Mother Nature, Mr. Wayne. And because it's my personal super hobby. But I will also do some more Genshin for sure. And I might also collab again with Nick Olson, maybe, if he's free. And Angelina, the voice of Inefa, maybe, because I got in touch with her. So maybe we'll play some silly games. And a future Genshin stream with Ashley Haddad. Oh, thank you for the follow. Future Genshin stream with Ashley Haddad. We shall see. I can't force. You don't want to like pressure someone into playing a game. Ash is a busy working woman, so if she's not already playing Genshin, it's quite possible that she just doesn't have time or space in her mind for it. Maybe I can get her to join me as a guest on a call.
Entschuldigung, we are being raided.
Gorgeous voice. We are being raided. Entschuldigung, mein Gott. You guys, but I was just about to end the stream and now you are joining me. Thank you so much. God, that is an absolutely extraordinary number of raiders. Amanda, how was Edge Runners? Was it great? Yay. Oh, hello. The Canadians are here. I recognize some people from our Disco Elysium streams. For those of you who aren't here from Amanda's world, Amanda and I are very close friends. She is the voice of Carter Thea in Wuthering Waves, and we've been streaming Disco Elysium together because it's a game that Amanda knows very well and plays lots, and I have never played before, and so I recognize some people. Thou shalt not end the stream. I recognize some people from our disco streams. We're saved. Did you guys have fun? Did you enjoy all of the cyberpunkiness? It's been a really good stream, thank you. Everybody has been very tolerant and engaged with while I talk nonsense about plants. We talked about propagation a little bit. We talked about dealing with pests a little bit. We talked about some cheeky faves. We talked about bonsai trees. I basically, for the next goodness, thank you for all the follows, guys. That's so nice. I appreciate it. I had a really fun time because I love talking about this. And what I will do is I'll keep collecting questions. So if you have anything that you want to talk about on another Ivy League stream, another plant themed stream, then yeah, send me questions. Probably on Instagram is the best because that's one place where I can kind of collate everything together. But X works as well. Oh my God, thank you so much for the follows, guys. Very, very kind. And thank you for your congratulations about poison ivy. Ultra Rockmo, I see you making use of the new emotes that I made. I just put in, I don't know what I'm doing, but I just put in all of the deer memes that I like. I like the one from Adventure Time where the deer remove their hooves to reveal their sinister fingies. Do I have bonsai trees over there? Yes, we talked about bonsai trees. All of my bonsai trees come from IKEA. The great. It's not quite the Japanese heritage that the inventor of the bonsai tree envisaged. I go to my Swedish superstore and I buy my tiny tree. But they are excellent. We did an elk screaming one too. Yeah, I need to add some more emotes. I'm figuring it all out. Nice to meet you too, Ninja Models. What if I eat a poison ivy? Well, I was going to say bad idea, but maybe that's how you become a superhero. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's lots of different origin stories, but when poison ivy, she's like my blood has been replaced with aloe. My skin with chlorophyll. Maybe that would happen. You'd eat poison ivy and you'd be like, plant woman. But don't go to the emergency room. Do you know what I mean? Don't take that advice. Don't eat anything toxic, lads. Get life insurance first, just in case. So yeah, if you have any other plant questions, conundrums, things that annoy you, things that you're like, why can't I make this work? Or things I've always wanted to try, but you're finding them kind of difficult, or just things that are successes that you really enjoy that you want to share with other people, let me know on Instagram or on X, and then I will include it the next time I do one of these little Ivy League streams. And then otherwise, I will be I will be doing Genshin streams and maybe some silly co-op game streams. Who knows? I'm still not committing to a schedule because I'm just kind of figuring out how I feel about all of this. But I really enjoy it so far, so I will absolutely be back. Yeah, I think that's it, lads. I feel bad for leaving now that all of these raiders have arrived, but I think it might be time to call it a day. So thank you very much for joining me while I yap for 3 hours. And, may you find a pothos vine and chop it into tiny pieces and grow 50 other pothos vines from it. Until I see you next time. Okay. Bye, guys. Take care.
E vai.